Hello,
Hi
welcome
guys.
back to Wallflowers. So today we're improving the living room still. So we've decided, myself and Marianne have decided to replace the copper pipe and light fitting with something more appropriate that fits in with the room.
Mr. Wallflowers chose that light fitting. He thought it was industrial, arty, etc. And we've enjoyed it for a couple of years now, but it doesn't go in with the new decor, etc. We don't have any brass ornaments, accessories, so we've chosen a new one.
A black one. A 3-bulb black lantern. So I'm going to attempt to take that one out and fit this one. I've never done it before, but it's only like changing a plug. As long as the wires go into the right ones, we should be okay.
Fingers crossed.
But if it doesn't, you'll see me blow up. So.
And Oscar's going to be your glamorous assistant, isn't he?
Yeah. He'll be assisting me. So we'll just try and get this one.
I might have to sit down in a moment and tilt the
turn the lecky off at the mains, so there's no electricity running through the sockets.
So, like Mr. W's just said, he's not an electrician and he's not really used to connecting light fittings. Previously, when we've had this type of stuff done at home, we've actually hired an electrician to fit. This exhaust light fitting cost us £40 to pay an electrician to do it.
Saying it's exhaust, it's a copper pipe.
Well, it's a copper pipe, but we called it the exhaust light fitting, didn't we? Because that's what it kind of represented to us, didn't it? And initially when the electrician came, he said he was only going to charge £20, but he said it was fiddly, and he actually charged us 40. So by Mr. Wallflowers fitting this today, he's actually saved us £40 at least, because that was a few years ago, wasn't it? So probably £60 by now in today's money.
It was quite fiddly. The junction box that was on there, I had to undo, take the wires out and disconnect it all. And Oscar had to hold it so it didn't pull down too far.
Mr. Wallflowers has a thing called transverse myelitis, which gives him pins and needles and numbness sometimes in his fingers and his feet. And it's quite awkward for him to do fiddly jobs like this. But he does persevere and he does turn his hand to most things, which I'm quite proud of. For him to do something so intricate as the junction box here, in a minute you'll see that he loses a screw on the floor and we're frantically trying to find it. And it was chaos, but the screws were minute, weren't they?
So I had to take the old bracket off and put the new bracket on for this. That'll fit this light.
The connection to clasp it on, wasn't it, onto the cup of it.
The holes of the old one didn't line up with the holes of the new one, so I had to screw it into a wooden joist that was just above the ceiling. Managed to screw that in okay.
Well, the first screw was just a tad too long, wasn't it? So you put that in and took it back out again and then put a shorter one in. But yeah, persevered and cracked on with it. After a full day's work and being shattered, still persevered. Because, of course, it's now getting late in the evening. We've still got daylight, obviously. But should the light not have worked, we would have been in darkness for the rest of the day, the rest of the evening. So fortunately we do have candles, we do have solar lamps, etc. But fingers crossed, we just persevered, didn't you? And persevered. So at this stage, you've already got the bracket in place.
Yeah, the bracket's on. So we're just going to attach the new one now, new lamp.
You'd already identified which was the live wire. So the yellow one was the live, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And what happens when you put them in the junction box? How do they connect?
And there's a brown and a blue and a yellow in the middle. The yellow is the earth, the brown was the live, and the blue was the neutral, was it?
So you had to go yellow to blue.
But the problem is, with the new lamp, there was 2 black wires, because they were encased in black case, and you just had to, there was a little tiny colour bit just sticking out where you could just see the blue and the brown. So I managed to get...
And in the limited space, to see the colours, to see the wires, to see the tiny screws.
It was hitting my neck because my neck was all cranked. So I managed to get the live wire in, and I was trying to get the earth wire in. And because the holes were only really tiny and the wire was quite thick, it kept pulling out. So we'd have to undo the screws even further, and then ended up, the screw just fell out onto the floor, and we couldn't find it.
Oscar was very patient, wasn't he? Just holding it.
Yeah. He's standing on the table, I'm standing on the ladder.
Bearing in mind, Oscar's just 6 foot, and his head's pressing against the ceiling at this point, because he doesn't really need to stand on the table, does he, to hold the lamp, but it was just easier for his arms stretch. To hold something for that length of time, you get cramps in your arm, don't you?
So it was just fiddly trying to screw the wire, screw the screw into the wire to keep it attached to the junction box. As I said, that junction box was really small.
I think that just pertains to that particular light fitting, doesn't it? So this is called the Saxon 3-light ceiling fitting, and the junction box is really small. The screws are
tiny,
absolutely tiny.
So you'll see in a minute that the screw falls out. Couldn't find it, looking all over the floor. We ended up shaking the carpet, brushing up everywhere, and still couldn't find it. So what I then thought was, I'll take it all off again. I had an idea. Because that junction box is really small at the holes, I'll take the junction box off the old light and switch it round.
It was just slightly bigger, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that was a bigger holes for the screws. So I attached the new light to the old junction box, and then we put the light, attached the light to the wires that were in the ceiling. So I'm just taking off the old junction box there, taking it all apart. And because it's confined space, Oscar had to have the torch because I couldn't really see where the screws were then. So I put the new junction box on, put all the wires in, went in less than 10 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Got it all up. Went to turn the lacquey on.
Celebration.
Turn the switch on. And there you go.
We were nervous turning the switch on. Thanks for joining us. You take care. Remember you're loved.
Bye.
Bye.